Merci beaucoup d'être ici aujourd'hui. Tout d'abord, je tiens à remercier les ministres Liimets, donc Eva-Maria Liimets, Gabrielius, et aussi la secrétaire parlementaire Kalnina-Lukasevica, good to see you again, d'être avec nous aujourd'hui. Vous savez, ça me fait plaisir de recevoir les 3 pays baltes ici à Québec, qui sont des diplomaties, des démocraties aux frontières de la Russie. I know it was a long trip for all of you, but already I'm convinced that it will be a productive and worthwhile trip to Canada. And we're so glad to be able to host you here in Quebec City. This is especially meaningful given that Canada recently reinforced its presence in NATO's eastern flank, and many of the Canadian armed forces now in Latvia are from Valcartier, where we're heading this afternoon. C'est d'autant plus symbolique pour moi de vous recevoir ici à Québec, chers amis, alors que les membres du Royal 22e Régiment m'ont accueilli à bras ouverts l'automne dernier lorsque je suis allée en Lettonie, mais encore juste avant la guerre, cet hiver, en Ukraine. Le travail qu'ils font est exceptionnel et on doit les remercier et on peut en être très fiers. Cette visite est aussi lieu à un moment charnière de l'histoire. As we all know, the world has changed on February 24th. Russia's invasion of Ukraine threatens global stability as well as the values of Latvians, Lithuanians, Estonians, and Canadians. Les derniers mois nous ont rappelé de manière brutale que la démocratie et les droits de la personne ne sont pas garantis et ne peuvent jamais être pris pour acquis. Nos pays font face à des défis de grande envergure, mais en travaillant ensemble, comme nous le faisons déjà, nous allons être capables de les relever. Avec les pays baltes et nos partenaires de l'OTAN, nous soutenons l'Ukraine en fournissant des armes et de l'équipement militaire. Nous mettons un maximum de pression également sur le régime Poutine en imposant de sévères sanctions. Et nous avons un impact indéniable. Nous travaillons aussi de très près avec les pays baltes pour assurer notre sécurité collective à long terme. Le Canada a récemment renouvelé son engagement vers l'opération REASSURANCE en Europe de l'Est. To guarantee our collective security, we also need to be better equipped to face new threats, ranging from cyber attacks to disinformation. La guerre du président Poutine a aussi mis en péril la sécurité énergétique de l'Europe, ainsi que la sécurité alimentaire de millions de personnes à travers le monde. Food insecurity and energy insecurity cause more chaos and more conflict. This is exactly what Putin wants, and we cannot let him succeed. Le Canada, la Lettonie, l'Estonie et la Lituanie continueront de travailler ensemble sans relâche et avec nos alliés, nous ferons en sorte que le président Poutine soit forcé de battre en retraite. Merci beaucoup. Après vous. Yes, please go ahead. Yes.
A very good day to everyone, and please allow me to start by really thanking Madam Minister Mélanie for this very warm welcome. It's a great pleasure to be here, and today we had a really comprehensive and productive consultations on a range of very important topics. The Russian aggression against Ukraine has dramatically changed the global situation, the global security situation. So we discussed how to support Ukraine, how to restrict Russia, and how to strengthen our own security. And of course also we focused on the energy and food issues. But being here, actually the first and the main message for me is that Latvia really highly appreciates and values Canada's contribution to the security of the Baltic region, being a framework nation of the Enhanced Forward Presence battle group in Latvia. And indeed, huge thanks goes to Canada as a whole, to the government for the decisions to the society for the support, and to the soldiers for their valuable service in Latvia. We are also very grateful for Canada's decision to strengthen its presence in the NATO Enhanced Forward Presence battle group and send additional forces and also military equipment in Latvia as a response to Russia's aggression to Ukraine and the changing security situation. And we also highly value the decision of Canada to extend its mandate as a framework nation of the Enhanced Forward Presence Battle Group in Latvia. It is important both as an immediate step and also in long term. And also I have to say that it's very important, and we appreciate Canada's decision to extend its presence in the multinational division North. So now we are also preparing for the NATO Madrid summit. Very important decisions we have to take there to strengthen our defense, to strengthen our security. The main task of the NATO Madrid summit is to endorse the next strategic concept. Ensuring Euro-Atlantic security must remain a core mission for our alliance, and defense is in the center of that. And so we wait for important decisions for the security of the Baltic region, for the increased security of the eastern flank, but also we hope for a good momentum, looking forward to welcome Finland and Sweden. And also, we are very happy to have such a good and reliable ally and friend as Canada. And by that, I would like to also underline that our excellent political relationship is a solid foundation for our economic relations. And today, more than ever, a trusted and reliable trade partner is very vital. So by that, I would also like to mention that Latvia will host the next 3Cs Initiative Summit and Business Forum in Riga on the 20th and 21st of June. And we have also invited Canada to support the initiative by participating in Riga Summit and Business Forum. And we see that as an important initiative. And we also invited Ukraine to be present in this summit in Riga later this month. So by that, allow me to say a huge thank to Quebec for this very warm welcome. And we are really having a very good discussions and consultations, and I'm very much looking forward to visit the military base later this afternoon. And Mélanie, thank you for having this visit and having us here.
So good afternoon also on my behalf, and I also would like to, of course, start by thanking Mélanie for a very warm welcome and also for initiating this visit, and I'm particularly grateful for opportunity to visit few states and few cities, and of course we are thankful for this warm welcome here in Quebec. While we are speaking, then there is still war ongoing in Europe. Russia started war on the 24th of February in Ukraine, and of course, being from the region, it is very worrisome for us, and this is why we very much appreciate Canada's commitment to contribute to the to security and defense of our region. It's difficult to add something what was already previously said by my Canadian and Latvian colleague, but this is really truly appreciated also, especially the increase of troops after the war started in Ukraine. What we see at the moment is very unfortunate. We see that Russia has not withdrawn its intention to invade its neighbors, and it has changed the security situation of Europe, but also globally. And therefore it's very important that like-minded countries, like we are here today, we continue to closely cooperate and discuss how we can confront Russia's intention to invade neighbors. From our perspective, it is very important that we continue politically isolate Russia from international organizations. Also that we go forward with sanctions so that Russia would not be able to finance its war in Ukraine. And I'm very glad that at EU we have been very much united. We have adopted already 5 packages of sanctions and are about to adopt another package which would also include oil sanctions. And of course, in addition to that, it is important to continue to support Ukraine as much as possible. Of course, from our perspective, from the EU perspective, it is important to continue to give political support. We also believe that Ukraine should get candidacy status of the EU. Also, of course, as we see millions of refugees all around Europe, we must continue to support also Ukrainian refugees in our countries. In Estonia, we have at the moment about 40,000 Ukrainian refugees, which is about 3% of Estonia's population. And of course, we should also continue to give humanitarian aid to Ukrainians who still need to live under the bombing and shelling of Russia's military forces. These are the challenges that we face at the moment in Europe, and we highly appreciate Canada's commitment and support to our regional challenges, to support to Ukraine, but also to our countries. But today we also discussed other topics, and of course it was really good to speak about democracy promotion in general. We have had really very good cooperation with Canada in the Media Freedom Coalition, and I think that this is one of the areas we also should focus on, because we need to push back Russia's disinformation and misinformation with which they also accompany the war in Ukraine, and also, of course, stand for media freedom in general, and also for internet freedom. And last but not least, we very much also appreciate our bilateral relations. I think that there is some room for improvement in economic relations. At the moment while we speak, we have also another delegation here in Canada. This is delegation of Estonian digital companies. I truly believe that digital is one of the areas where we could cooperate more, in addition to maybe energy security and other areas. So I look forward to our other 2 days in Canada, in Toronto and in Ottawa. In Ottawa, I'm going to open a new building of Estonian embassy there. So I wish that it is another milestone in our very good bilateral relations. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much. I would like to start by thanking Minister Joly, très grand merci, for hospitality, for allowing this opportunity to meet and talk. Having caught a glimpse of the wonderful city, we truly do not feel that we've went all the way over the Atlantic. But it's not just about the architecture or the feeling. After the discussion that we had late last night and then tomorrow, since the morning, it feels that we didn't leave the Baltic states that far. So we truly are like-minded in many respects, especially when it comes to how do we see Russia's invasion into Ukraine. So we had a chance to discuss about our common positions that we took during the first days of invasion, even before that, preparing for the possibility of war. And I'm grateful for Canada's leadership in many respects, not only as a NATO partner and ally, but also as a country in G7. You've showed a lot of principled position, which led others to rethink their initial positions and then follow Canada, and we truly appreciate that. Unfortunately, the war is not over. Ukrainian soldiers are still fighting in the east, in the south part of Ukraine, and that means that we have to also not only to reflect what we've did throughout the last 3 months, but also what our position has to be in the months to come. And I think that we've been looking into the common positions that we would have the possibility to formulate either in EU or in other formats when it comes to, first of all, our commitment to assist Ukraine further. We need to make this, we need to find the possibility to make this commitment that we will stand with Ukraine until they achieve the victory that they're able to achieve. And that goes to weapons, that goes to all the possibility of other assistance like humanitarian and other sorts that has to reach Ukraine. Secondly, we have to find a consensus of not involving Russia into what could be called the global or even European security architecture. The country has to be isolated. It left the civilized world. It deliberately left the European security architecture. It actually broke it. So we cannot incorporate the regime that is currently running the country back. We cannot trust it, that it won't do the same things again. Thirdly, we need to keep looking before the upcoming Madrid summit of how can we reinforce the eastern flank. As we speak, the decisions have not yet been found of how that should look practically. We're thankful for Canada's leadership in Latvia and in the region that is currently in the Baltic region, but we still think that other allies also should be assisting in strengthening the eastern flank further. And lastly, this is my very deep belief that the war in Ukraine is just one of the crises that Putin is brought upon the world. And the second crisis is looming just around the corner. It is a world food crisis. Putin is holding hostage millions of tons of wheat and corn in the ports of Odessa and Nikolaev, not allowing them to leave safely and reach those countries and those people who are vulnerable and need the food. And I think that there has to be found a decision how to unblock the ports, how to allow the free flow of food to those who need it. And I think, again, the leadership, as with decisions in the past, might come from the leaders of the democratic world where we are currently visiting as well. So thank you for the opportunity.
Donc, je sais pas si... Après vous.
Donc, nous allons maintenant procéder à la période de questions des médias. We will now proceed at the question of media period. So the first thing I would ask each media is to state their name, identify themselves, and come to the microphone to ask their question. You can ask one question and one follow-up question. And you can ask your question to either Minister Joly or to the Baltic counterparts. Donc, je vais juste répéter en français. Vous aurez, chaque journaliste, une question de suivi. Je vous invite donc à vous rendre au micro, il y en a déjà, et poser votre question, vous identifier votre organisation, et la question peut être posée soit à la ministre Joly ou à ses homologues. Alors, allez-y.
Bonjour, ministre Joly. Caroline Plante de la presse canadienne.
Allô, Caroline, comment ça va?
Ça va très bien. Allez-vous envoyer davantage de militaires canadiens dans la région?
Bien, en fait, il y a à peine 2 mois, juste après l'invasion russe de l'Ukraine, on a déjà annoncé qu'on allait augmenter nos troupes en Lettonie. On avait environ 700 soldats et là, on a décidé d'en envoyer environ 450. Et avec, bref, d'autres personnels, on se retrouve à peu près à 1300 personnes qui sont en Lettonie. Ce qu'on a fait en plus de ça, c'est qu'on a augmenté aussi notre présence dans la mer Baltique. On a une frégate de plus, mais surtout, on a mis en réserve 3400 soldats. Donc, si l'OTAN a besoin d'une plus grande présence canadienne, alors on sait que l'OTAN a à sa disposition 3400 soldats. Et pourquoi c'est pertinent pour les gens d'ici, à Québec, c'est que plusieurs de ces soldats viennent de Valcartier. Lorsque j'étais là l'automne dernier, à Riga, en Lettonie, c'était, dans le fond, des gens d'ici qui étaient là, non seulement des soldats, mais aussi leurs familles qui vivaient en Lettonie. Et il y a cette rotation-là qui existe avec l'équipe de Valcartier depuis 2017. Donc, il y a vraiment des petits Québécois qui ont grandi à Riga ou dans les alentours de Riga, qui vont à l'école avec des enfants de la Lettonie et aussi des enfants qui proviennent d'un peu partout parce que le Canada dirige une force multinationale qui comprend 12 autres pays. Donc, on est le seul pays à avoir ce leadership-là, c'est-à-dire on a nos soldats, mais en même temps, on dirige des Espagnols, des Danois, des Italiens, etc. Oui. So, of course, what we did further to Putin's war of choice and invasion of Ukraine, we announced that we would be furthering our support to the eastern flank of NATO. We had already 700 Canadian Armed Forces on site in Riga, and we announced that we would be adding 450 of them. Plus personnel, we're around right now 1,300 people that are stationed and working in Riga, in Latvia. Now, what we said also is we would make sure to send another frigate in the Baltic Sea, and we would put on standby 3,400 soldiers for NATO. So should NATO decide to reinforce the eastern flank, including in Latvia, Canada is willing to offer 3,400 troops more. Now, why is it relevant right now in Quebec City is that many of the armed forces that have gone to Latvia are from Valcartier, are from the Royal 22e Regiment. And when I was there last time in Riga, the Canadian Armed Forces that were there were women and men from this beautiful town, beautiful place in Canada.
And I have a question for my English colleagues at Canadian Press.
Yes.
Does Canada support a permanent NATO battle group in the Baltics?
Well, we will work with NATO because we believe that the Madrid summit needs to be a success. We know that the security of the Baltic states is also the security of Europe and is our transatlantic security. So we want to, more than do our part, we actually want to make sure that we continue to lead the mission there. And of course, I'll work with the Prime Minister and the Minister of Defense, Anita Anand, on this very issue. Oui, c'est bon. Donc, l'idée, bien entendu, c'est de continuer d'assurer la sécurité de la Lettonie, mais aussi des pays baltes. Non seulement la sécurité des pays baltes est importante pour l'Europe, mais elle est importante pour nous, pour aussi la sécurité transatlantique. Donc, on veut faire en sorte que le sommet de Madrid soit un succès. On va travailler avec l'OTAN pour que ça soit le cas et certainement on travaillera avec les pays baltes. Et c'est une des raisons pour lesquelles ils sont ici au Canada également. Merci.
Bonjour, Mme Joly, Camille Carpentier de Radio-Canada.
Allô?
Il y a des rapports qui disent qu'en Asie, il y a des pilotes chinois qui volent très près d'appareils canadiens. Est-ce que vous avez eu des discussions avec vos homologues chinois à ce sujet-là?
Vous savez, j'ai eu la première conversation avec mon homologue chinois, Wang Li, il y a environ 1 mois et demi. C'était la première fois que le gouvernement du Canada, au niveau politique, se réengageait à avoir des pourparlers diplomatiques avec la Chine depuis l'arrestation arbitraire des 2 Michael. Maintenant, notre objectif est de faire en sorte d'avoir une relation diplomatique avec la Chine, mais de pouvoir aborder aussi des sujets difficiles. Je suis extrêmement préoccupée par le fait que, justement, il y ait eu des incidents dans cette région du monde. On se rappellera que le Canada est présent dans cette région. Pourquoi? Parce que on est là en vertu d'une motion, en fait, d'un mandat du Conseil de sécurité qui a été donné à plusieurs pays, et c'est pourquoi on est présent. Alors, c'est sûr que c'est une question que je vais soulever parce que je suis extrêmement préoccupée par la question.
Est-ce que vous considérez ça comme un geste d'agression de la part de la Chine?
Bien, je pense que c'est un geste qui est significatif et donc, par conséquent, il doit être soulevé.
Merci.
Merci.
Est-ce qu'il y a d'autres questions?
Hello, Vanessa Lee with CTV.
Hi.
My question is for our foreign leaders. Do you think that Canada should be doing more in your region, and should there be more Canadian and NATO troops?
Do you want to go ahead?
If you may repeat the question, because I didn't manage to take off the headset.
Hi.
Apologies.
I'm just wondering if you think that Canada should be doing more in your region. Should there be more Canadian and NATO troops?
Thank you. As I already mentioned, we are very, very thankful for what Canada is doing, and also after the Russian aggression against Ukraine, additional decisions were taken and additional troops were sent to Latvia. That's enormously important, and that's really very well recognized and appreciated in Latvia by government and by our society. Now, when we are preparing for the NATO Madrid summit, we are discussing also some strengthening of the NATO defense opportunities for our region. So we talk about the forward defense posture. That's a change of concept. It involves also change of command system. That's not only about the troops, and we are looking forward to have good decisions during the Madrid summit. But that doesn't involve only more troops from Canada. As I said, Canada is doing a lot. It's about the concept and the way NATO is looking at the defense of the NATO eastern flank.
Oui, Caroline, as-tu une autre question?
Oui, j'en aurais d'autres, si vous me permettez.
OK, vas-y, on t'en permet deux autres.
Oui, donc comment le Canada peut-il réellement lutter contre la désinformation russe? Je pense que c'était un des thèmes
Oui.
qui allait être abordé. Alors.
Oui, tout à fait. Bien, je pense que, premièrement, le CRTC a banni RT et Sputnik. Pour nous, c'était important. Ça a été le cas également en Europe. Ma collègue Eva-Maria a travaillé beaucoup sur le dossier et il y a aussi d'autres stations de télévision qui sont visées par les sanctions européennes, mais qui sont des stations de télévision qui ne sont pas au Canada. Donc, essentiellement, on veut s'assurer qu'on puisse contrer la désinformation russe en bannissant sur nos ondes justement ces stations qui font en sorte de transmettre de la propagande russe. En même temps, je pense qu'on doit en faire plus au niveau des médias sociaux. Déjà, les plateformes numériques ont banni Sputnik et RT également, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Mais en même temps, les campagnes de désinformation sont souvent très pernicieuses et font en sorte de déstabiliser peu à peu nos démocraties sur la base d'informations qui sont fausses, qui utilisent les messages clés du Kremlin, qui essaient de justifier justement les actions de Vladimir Poutine en Ukraine basées sur le fait qu'il doit dénazifier, entre guillemets, le pays et que ce sont des opérations de paix. Bien sûr, on sait très bien que c'est complètement faux. Volodymyr Zelensky est lui-même juifs et en même temps, on sait très bien que c'est loin d'être des opérations de paix, mais plutôt ce sont des opérations qui visent des civils et qu'il y a eu des crimes de guerre et des crimes contre l'humanité qui ont été perpétrés en Ukraine. Donc, on doit en faire plus. On doit interpeller davantage les médias sociaux et en même temps, bien, on doit renforcer nos médias pour que la vérité puisse être expliquée à la population. Et ça passe par le fait d'avoir un système de médias qui est bien financé. C'est pour ça qu'on a présentement une législation très importante qui est débattue devant la Chambre des communes.
And I have an English question as well on
Ce sera la dernière.
on another topic. What will you do about the Canadian airline crew that's stuck in the Dominican Republic? I think it's calling for urgent help.
Yes, of course, this is a consular issue that I'm very seized with. My parliamentary secretary had the chance to discuss the issue. I'll have the opportunity to meet with my Dominican Republic counterpart later next week as I'm heading to the Summit of the Americas. And since it's a consular issue, I can't give you more information, but of course, we are very seized with the issue. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Ceci conclut la conférence de presse. This ends the press conference. Thank you. Bonne journée.